So guys, we are starting with the semi-finals of the United Masters. What is happening now today? We will play on each map. We have 7 maps. On each map we play 2 races, I believe. Do we? Or is it just 1 race? I thought it's 2 races with 6 laps each. And that we get then points after every race. And these points are important for the season, because after the qualification I am currently in 15th place and I need to reach top 12 if I want to reach the grand final. We start with a bit of warm-up. My best environments come at the ending. We start with all my so mediocre environments. So here it's basically just about hoping that others crash and then hopefully being able to take advantage from their crashes. I don't need much pressure actually, like if I don't qualify for the final then it's just like that. But I try to qualify for it. Won't be easy though, because I need to gain points on them. Like, we are not going equally into this. I need to gain points on several opponents. And that makes everything a lot harder. And the last environments will play a big role. these 2 overtakes only happened because I got a mid-roll bug. Ah, shit. They all finished right in front of... Oh, 90. Ach Gott. But this is the worst start ever. Literally the 11th place is just 4 seconds in front of me. Even the 3rd place is only 10 seconds away. Behind me is the huge gap, and in front of me everyone is right there. Also my direct opponent Snake and Spitfire, because those are exactly the 2 that I have to overtake. But good thing is that they didn't go far up here themselves. Yo, Maxi. Also the first race, I'm happy with how I drove. And people did make mistakes, but they all ended up right in front of me. Also this couldn't have been worse. Also I could have basically done a 3-second mistake and would have had the same position. But if I was 3 seconds further in front, they would have gained me like so many places. That's crazy. So we do a second island race now. With island I was hoping a little bit that there's more possible. In this last lap now, I saw that mistake by that one guy. And I was like, I should be able to stay in front of him, and then he suddenly came. Also it must have been one of the very fast ones, or he full risked then. And it actually worked. It actually worked. He didn't slide out. Because that's the thing, when someone makes a mistake and he falls back, then in his mind he's thinking like, oh, I have to full risk now to catch that up again what I lost with my mistake. And the chance for another mistake is pretty huge. This is what I was also hoping a little bit, that this is happening to some of them. But yeah, overall the pace is, of course, the confidence of course missing. I'm not so warmed up now. And it's generally island, like it's hard to be. Like if I go faster, There's also the risk that I slide away and that I'm not better overall. But I lost way too much timing on this last turn all the time. Got always the gear and so on. And the very first turn, I drifted. Okay, let's go next. Race an island. Yeah, again, I'm behind that blue car. That snack. 17th, slightly better. But yeah, again, in the last lap, I had these two opponents. What was my time in the first race, actually? Now I have a 6:29. Would be actually interesting to compare that. My gap to first place is pretty similar. Okay. The next environment's gonna be rally, that means I quickly restart the game. Okay. My aim is generally to get better positions than what I had in the qualification, like in the seeding. To get a bit further up. But I have to admit that the others drove really consistent overall on Island, because I was hoping that Island is such a crashy environment, you know? It's not a pace environment, because if someone makes a mistake, he loses so much, like if it's a big mistake, he loses so much that you cannot really catch it back up. Unless you are much faster. And I was hoping that with such a performance, I'm happy with how I drove. I was hoping that with this performance I would get better places. But they were like, it was just not enough. Like they were all right there, right in front. Ideally, of course, have everyone right behind you and you have a huge gap in front of you, no? Someone from the fast guys, he would overtake me back for sure, because he was far in front. But he made a mistake in that part, and that costs a lot of time. Doesn't matter though, because the fast guys will qualify anyway, all of them. Or they are pretty safe already after the seeding, but they will reach top 12. Okay, time to catch up. Because I can beat them by pace there. I didn't drive all too well so far, pace-wise. If I improve this, then I'm faster than them. But I might also improve now. At least in this lap they already drive a lot faster, because I drive much better than in the first 2 laps, and I didn't come closer. Oh shit, I messed up this chicane section. Again, so many cars in front. Not far away. Well, he survived that, oh god. Yes, I have him. So this was better now. And this is position 13. And also exactly 13 seconds behind first, which is not placard for once. Yeah, there was a gap now in front. Also the guys that were in front, they actually got a bigger lead now. So that I can say I have basically reached the maximum. I beat Kent in that direct fight. And yeah, I catch up a bit to Spitfire in points. But Snack, I guess, he finished now 3 times in a row, 1 position in front of me. Maybe it was 2 positions in the first one, I'm not sure. So I just remember it was Snack and Spitfire on the 2 places. But he's always like a slight bit ahead. Naja. And Captain 1995 gifted us up to Athena P24. Thanks a lot. What was my time? 7:04. Yeah. I mean, in the first laps I didn't have the best pace. So if I get better first laps and equal the rest, then I can improve this by 2-3 seconds. But it wouldn't have made a difference in this first round to be 2-3 seconds faster. Let's warm up now. God, what is this horn? Ai, ai, ai. So many colored cars around me. Na. It would be cool to stay on this place here, on this position. Even though I know there was this one guy, did he overtake me already or is he still behind me? It failed here last lap. In that section, he will overtake me. Not sure if it was this one. And that's it. Yeah, this one guy I couldn't hold. 14th only? Oh god, that felt so much better. Wait, I had the 704 as well in the first round, right? I actually thought that I was much faster. I thought that I was much faster this time. Yeah, I also thought so. I expected 9th or 10th as well. Snack is again one position in front of me. How is this possible? Yeah, exactly. We saw so many big crashes. I thought I was further in front. So what's the goal? Being 12th place after all the races are over. But we start with a back foot, because we start with worse environments, and in the seeding I already was behind on 15th. Now I'm 17th currently, and top 12 is what we need. My best environments will be at the very end. But I guess I will have to perform extremely well on those if I want to have a chance. So now switching back to normal settings. I'm happy with how I drove rally. But yeah, the position, like, it's interesting to play this without interface and to just have a feeling, a guess where I might end up. But I have to say that I'm massively surprised that this was only 14th. It is okay, but it could have been a bit higher up. That would have been amazing. So Desert will be worse than Rally. That's very likely, at least. Desert is probably the biggest issue for me now. So, warm-up is live. So here it's also just damage control, basically, before we come to better environments. But the problem is, the pace is gonna be an issue everywhere, despite Stadium and despite Coast. So it's always the issue that people might make mistakes, but they still overtake me back. You have to know that in a one lap, also my one lap PB was over 3 seconds, partly close to 5 seconds slower than world record. I have no idea how you can drive that fast, but that means that the very fast players, they can actually make big mistakes and still overtake me back. Which is like, yeah, no, chanceless then. Especially now Desert and Snow will be tough. But who knows what kind of mistakes others will make. On Snow there is a chance that people make big mistakes and stay behind me. On Desert here, less likely, but we will see. Did someone crash the first time? Oh! Yeah, I got an anti-boost basically. Not again side by side. Like he saved the same way as I did. Are we coming now? Thousands of cars? But he went inside that. Oh, okay. Interesting. Again, side by side, it's the third lap in a row. Yeah, look at this, I hate it. I want to go alone into this tunnel, and every single round someone goes side by side with me. I hate it. Oh. I cannot now. In the last lap, probably it's last lap, I don't know. No. Okay. It's not. No! I expected it ends. But still, that couldn't have gone any worse. How can the car stay on two wheels for so long? I mean, now I have to risk to overtake those two. Because probably I cannot lose many places anymore. I hate desert. Desert car is just so annoying. I was actually overtaking them. Let's get back this guy maybe. Oh. Okay, but this guy at least 18th with that. Oh my god, I was on an okayish position, I guess. Where's Snack? Snack is 13th. Yeah, probably I would have been close to that. Sender is 12th only, what the fuck? Yeah, this was bad. Like, I mean, top 18 is still okay-ish, but I could have gotten a much better result on this. That's for sure. There's also a big gap now to the top 12. Also between 12th and 13th is a big gap, right now at least. Yeah, that was actually much more possible, surprisingly. Also the pace was not even that bad, it seems like. I don't know who these people were that I was ahead of 2 laps before the end. But I guess that I dropped like 6-7 places, so probably I was around 12th or 11th or something. Let's see what we can do in the second race. I mean, in the second mistake, we couldn't really see how many cars passed me on the inside. Like, the camera was not showing everything. And some of them, of course, I got back. Also, some of them overtook me, but I still placed myself in front of them. So these overtakes didn't matter in the end. I don't even remember what my mistakes have been. But this one here, that was so weird. That was such a weird one, not gonna lie. That small touch, it was so costly, it's crazy. Some of these skins look broken. It's very interesting. Oh, they are definitely also broken. I seemingly also have way more colorful skins for the opponents than in the first race. But then broken colors. Like that car in front of me, the orange one. That's not the real car skin for sure. So this purple one, I know the skin, but it's not purple. Very strange. Looks very bugged. I thought I will now go alone into the tunnel, and then in that downhill comes suddenly a car. Where do they have the speed from? Especially, I don't hear anything beforehand. But every time in this downhill, a car appears. I have the feeling they spawn there. Again? I cannot believe it. Yeah, that skin loaded. Oh, rip him. I won't see that skin anymore in this race, hopefully. They have a slightly faster pace in front. Oh, nice. And 12th. 13th, actually. 707. And where's Snack? Ah, Snack is behind me. Yeah, was not much more possible. Meth was right in front, Galpa was close, but then already a gap and then another gap. I would say it is still possible. Because the 12th place Fed was not scoring here. He is mainly in the top 12 because of rally. I don't know what his positions were, but he's a very good rally driver. And this is where he gained. And I don't think that Meth is scoring super well on the other, like he is there because of Island. And Snack has the same issue than me. Very consistent in the positions, but you don't really score many points there. And obviously if you want to reach a top 12 overall, I should also finish a race in the top 12 at some point. But I already expected that this is not happening easily. But then in Coast I have to outperform myself. But in Stadium, this is like the thing. And the point system actually awards the top places quite a lot. It will still be difficult for me with Stadium, because we have cars on, and I don't like cars on. But in Stadium, like a top 5, like usually should be doable, because in the qualification I was in the top 6. And so in theory, already from the seeding, there shouldn't be that many players that could beat me. But maybe some players have trained since the seeding, like Jumper Check maybe, I don't know. But in theory, Stadium has the chance for a great place. And if I would actually get a top 3, like if I have a lucky round where some people make mistakes and I get top 3, then I actually get a big points bonus. And that would be huge. I mean, that would make the difference, basically. What is this car skill? I just didn't want anyone to be in my car. I watched that from the back, rather. What the fuck? The car changed from this red car. It went yellow. What's happening? Why is that so bugged? could be a valid car skin because I saw the letters Neko on the back. People like Neko, for example, are just trolling around in these races because they are qualified for the final anyway. And their performance really does not matter at all. So he can also just make mistakes if he likes to, he can just full risk everything. If there's a race where enough of these fast players make mistakes, this is where you want to be up in front. Thanks for the bug. I had more speed than the other car, yeah. And now look where the other car is. Wasn't sure if that's the last lap, so I risked it and I would have lost both places. Last turn is also really tricky. The previous lap was crazy, how many cars suddenly were around me again. He made a respawn and he's now still in front of me? We were just next to each other. He made another mistake and he's still there. Hey dude, how does he... I don't know who that was. Rees. Rees came out of nowhere. But yeah, behind me are 3 other cars. Also, it's okay, it's 12th place. Snack 8th though. It's quite important just to check the other people that I'm battling with. Yeah, is any one of those people that are close to me in the top places where they score really high? Sanderhawk, Roa are all safe, Blackhead is safe, Exotic is safe. I'm not sure with Aru, but I guess he's also safe. Neko is safe, so Snack and Jumper Check and Fat, those 3 here. But they are not gaining all too much to me. And that's of course a bad environment for myself. What is my time? 7:03. Yeah, but for this being an environment where I have no pace, 12th place is pretty good because I was consistent enough. And it was almost 11th. So yeah, Ahu is also safe, yeah. I'm fighting with Fat, a little bit Spitfire maybe. Then we have 2 spots. Spitfire, Fat, Snack, Mev, Speed, so Jumper check. And the people behind me should have no chance. Like, I'm the last one that has a chance to make the comeback. But only because my best environment comes at the very end. I think I know what's happening. Maybe some of these bugged skins are actually 3D skins that are not loading or something like that. I don't know. What happened? Did I actually not get a booster effect there? How is that possible? I'm pretty sure that I touched that booster. Really would like to see Granati playing this map. How much did I lose in that transition? I didn't even have a bugged landing. I guess it's the last lap now. Oh my god. That was huge. He got a massive bug. Yeah, perfect. 12th place. There's nobody now around. Ja, dann etwas Pizza. Okay, also I can be happy with these positions. We top 12? Nah, we won't be top 12 until the very end. Also the only chance to get top 12 is after the last map is played. We have 3 maps, 6 races. Also 2 races per map and 3 more maps there. And in the old days of Trackmania United Forever, these 3 environments were my best ones. Also back then, Bay was also, for me, clearly in the top 3. It has a little bit changed because the opponents are so strong in Bay. They are so good here. Ah, we have a bit of a break. That's good, however. So I can warm up a bit on that map. Also yeah, somehow everyone is so incredibly strong on this environment that it's very difficult to score very good points, but we will see. Bay is of course an environment similar to some others like Island or now the snow map, where big mistakes can happen and then people are dropping a lot of time in places. But it's also an environment where people are multiple seconds faster than me per lap. Like, they can make a big mistake, but if they push 2 laps very hard, they just overtake me again. Because they gain so many seconds. Like, you see, my 1 lap PB is a 109, and the world record is a 105. And I can tell you that my 1 lap PB, it was a really good run. Like, it was completely clean. It took some parts also already a bit risky, faster. I had no mistakes, but I'm missing 3.5 seconds. It's crazy. But that's again, of course, against these absolute top players in front. The question is, how can I perform compared to the guys in the midfield? And they are not necessarily 3 seconds faster than me. Maybe only 1 second or something like that. And if they make a mistake, then I maybe stay ahead. I mean, snow went really good. That's actually very surprising, the snow reside. Like, both races were good. But sadly, you don't really make many points there. The big points are only in the top places. And in order to get into the top places, you need to actually be able to beat like these guys, Exetic, Sandor, Hawk, Roa. Yeah, all of these are of course in the front. And if I want to get really, really good points, then I need to beat some of them. I need to be at their level, and yeah, they are of course prepared and very good. So it's very difficult to beat them. The most annoying thing is literally the first round of this whole match, and the one desert round. The one desert round where I made mistakes, that hurts, points-wise. And the very first round was a solid performance by myself, but man, why did everyone have to finish within 4 seconds ahead of me? Like, there was like so much more possible. If people were just making like 1 or 2 seconds stronger mistakes, I would have gained so much. It was a bit unfortunate with the position. Like, 3rd last I was. But that also shows everyone is losing focus now towards the end, which can be also my chance. As in the first round of the semi-final, you could really tell that everyone is maximum focused. And I bet if we would play Island now, the result would be that many people make mistakes and I would get much better places on that environment. I think that I was only 17th and 19th is not just due to the environment. That I had such positions is mainly due to the fact that it was the first race, or the first map. And everyone was still focused, everyone was still there. Yeah, I think that this is the main reason. I want to see something. If I ever have to go here. Yeah. Whenever I'm unsure, I could do that. So yeah, baby, you have to see. Like, as you see, my 1 lap PB is 21st only, and I was quite happy with that run. But it's also a map where many mistakes could happen. So I don't know what we can expect here. For a moment I didn't see anything. Dude, this goes, holy shit. Wait, there is a different road. Oh, I had no idea about that. I think I will stick to what I know. Nice to find that out now in the semi-final though. I mean, I played on the Quali server and I never saw a car going there. It's quite interesting. Everyone is driving so fast and everyone's going there. Let's see the difference. The difference is really marginal. It doesn't matter too much. And not marginal is the wrong word actually. Let's just say it's small. Okay, 12. Oh, Snack is 8th and Jumper Check 7th. We. Okay, warm up for the second race. I forgot now what time I drove in the first race, but it was really nice. I had no crashes, no mistakes. It was just generally good. Also when you see my first attempts when I discovered these maps on Thursday, was it Thursday or Friday? Oh no, not Friday. Yeah, no, it was Thursday, I believe. When you saw my first runs there, or especially on this map, it was like undrivable. It was really difficult. This Trackmania United forever. This debate environment, we will then go to Coast and then it ends on Stadium, which you know. Also from Team NF and from Team 2020. Here we go, 6 laps again. Cars forced on. I was completely blind, as you've seen. Downhills are always very difficult with this rule. Really, it's not a big difference. You can compare it with the other cars there. Oh! That's bad. Now I cannot make this, so I have to go a safe way here as well. Ah, damn. I was good in the first laps, probably 10th or something. Now I have to do the comeback. But this is how quickly it can go, especially at that section with that transition. I mean, it's barely a mistake. It's like, you know, I just got a bit of airtime, and then you have immediately no chance to solve that issue. When you get airtime, then it's ripped. But we can come back. There are still 4 laps to go. Others will also make crashes, but it cannot be such a good result than last race. Last race was of course a lot better. It was of course a bit unfortunate that it was an immediate full stopping, which then also meant that I lose even more time afterwards, because the one speed check of the map I couldn't do. When I'm back here, I'm pace-wise not looking too bad against the others, at least. Someone joins me. Someone made a mistake there. Oh god. The thing is, I almost followed him, no? To do evasive action to that happen. Oh, someone else also with an issue here. Yeah, so this is like typical. Mistakes will happen here. Sad that the green car is staying in front of me. This mistake wasn't big enough. Catch up to someone else. Oh, okay. But the time runs out to get them. Why does this guy have to be so fast? They drove good, but yeah, almost full crashed again. Have to give up on that fight. Yeah, look, there are 4 cars. Ah, but without my mistake, I would be at least 4 positions higher up. Also my mistake was of course huge, so it cost me way more than what they are ahead of me. Is this the last lap? No. Okay, there's one more lap. Yeah, wow. Why is it always those guys crashing that are so fast that they can overtake me back easily? Look how fast he is. Sadly, you don't get anyone. Oh, wait. Okay, I did get someone. Oh. Well, Galba is 4th. That's huge for him. But he was even behind me in the rankings. Yeah, but you see it. I have a 707, and there are a. Also, I would have been 7th, guys. I don't know what's happening with these skins. Some of them look also super bugged, and I don't even know if I have it on. But look at these gaps. My mistake was so huge. 7th place was only 5 seconds in front of me, and I would think that I lost more than 5 seconds. Also this was here an opportunity actually to score many more points. And of course my direct opponents, Snack, Fat, Spitfire and so on, Speed, so they are now all exactly in that range that I could have beaten. Very unfortunate mistake, that one. I mean, I played very good afterwards. And wouldn't have played that fast if I was further in front in the fights all the time, most likely. But yeah, okay. So now comes the... Also if a comeback comes, then it comes now. It has to come now. Because we have 2 environments left. And those 2 definitely being my best environments. However, on coast here, people are just very trained. And... I have to say, of course, I was only like 14th or something like that in the seeding on this, in the 4-lapper. But of course, I'm looking to improve that as good as possible. I hope so. I have to. I need to also risk it a bit at this point. In the warm-up, I'm 5th. Okay. Then let's go. Scheiße. Fuck, I am last of that battle. Ah! Damn! That was 5th place, right in front. Ah. It's so difficult when you have then all these cars right and around you. It was annoying, there was this one car still coming from behind. That is so huge, you know. That is like, I got 8th and just a tiny bit further ahead and I would have been 5th. And even 4th is right in front. Also, the points difference is huge. Especially when you see that Snack now again finished in front. And he made basically 3 positions on me because of 1200s. Ah. Damn. That's annoying. Snake is, by the way, currently on 12th place. And yeah, he's the guy to get. Ah, that's so unfortunate there. That was a huge round. Was pretty good overall. But yeah, I was never really alone. There were always cars coming again. And there are 2 parts on this map where I'm not confident. 2 parts where I'm not sure. And where I'm especially not sure when I have cars around. And I had always cars. One of these things is this turn here. The other one is this turn here. As you see. But we have a second race to make it better. Again, 8th. In front of Snack. Yeah, I felt also here in this race there were always some cars in front where I thought, maybe I could have had them. But yeah, also I had 2 drifts myself. It was okay. I mean, as I said, in the qualification I was like 13th, 14th, around that. And now I'm 8th, which is much better. But yeah, the first race really hurts. Like when you have such a close battle, you always want to be ahead and not the last one of 4 cars. Like that's so stupid. Yeah, so I am 16th overall, and now we go to Stadium. My gap to Snack is a whopping almost 500 points. But yeah, as I said, the top places are getting big points. Yeah, needs them. I have to risk. And the only way to make a comeback happen is twice in a row an absolutely top position on Stadium. And with safe driving, I will not reach that position. I literally have to... I mean, in the end, you just want to keep the gears here anyway. So there is not really a safe approach for this map. That this is warm up. Yeah, this turn here I'm a bit afraid of. Okay, here we go. Snake and Spitfire, however, are also fast. Top 7, top 8 on this map. But I messed up one call on every lap. That brings this car back. Second! Woo! Oh! Okay. I didn't know. I didn't know that this was second place. What happened in the last turn? Suddenly there was a car in my, like within me. So let's see how much I actually could catch up. Snack, however, 6th. Also not bad from him as well. I'm 13th now. And it's only 160 points. Yeah, I told you. These absolute top places, they make a huge difference. We have to be honest, there were mistakes in the first stadium race in the very end that helped me to get second. And I will need such a position to really catch up points, because it only works like that. What I can tell you guys is this first round on Coastman, where Snack got 5th and I got 8th. And it was 1/10 between us. That is the difference maker. That is the difference maker. That round on coast. Like, if I am ahead of him there, so that he's 6th and not 5th, and I am like 5th instead of 8th, it would be so close now, points-wise. There's of course also still the chance that someone is not able to play the GrandFinal, and then I am the next guy to get into if I stay on 13th. But yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, we just try to get a good result now. Oh god, that was almost it. Shit. Oh god. That was a bug. That was not my mistake. Oh, I kept it here. Ah, Snake is right behind me. That was like what was obvious that it could happen. That if I get a good result, but Snake is just one position behind me, then I cannot catch him. It's 107 points. As I think there's one position now that wouldn't have made it as well. Very, very close. But let's see, maybe someone cannot drive, and then suddenly I am the one that comes into the final. And look at this gap here from myself to Jumper Check. 500 points, and for the most part I was in 17th, in 18th, in 16th. The whole final I was there, and now I have a 500 points gap to 14th. That's crazy. Also what I didn't expect is that Snack is so good on Stadium. I didn't expect him to get top 5, top 6 and so on that map. I came in with the idea that on Coast and on Stadium I will be ahead of him. And yeah, most of the time I was ahead of him. But just barely. Like I thought he would be somewhere in the midfield like he was on other maps as well. Like on these first maps, where I was only getting 17th and 15th and so on, Snake was always exactly one position in front of me. But that means that he was also on such bad positions. Like on all these maps here, on these first environments, he was also just scoring midfield positions. I didn't expect him to actually drive top 6, top 7, top 8 as well on Coast and Stadium. That these are actually also his environments. I didn't see that coming. But yeah, we can have a look now into the website. Uppsala. Look into the website and see on Coast how many points of a difference this 1/10 actually made. No, this is yeah, made this correct. Semi-final here. Leaderboard. We see everything. Maybe it takes a while until we can see everything here. I guess it will take a while. Also here you see the leaderboard from the qualification, and as you see I was 15th and Snake was 12th. Also he was on that hot seat at that point, and he had a lead of actually less than 100 points. Well, in that case, now it was very similar. So we scored overall pretty much the same, but I think that he scored even slightly better. I think it is slightly over 100 points, and here we were slightly under 100 points. And Spitfire took big advantage from Coast as well. Like Spitfire was also in reach for a long time, but on Coast he was twice third, and with that he jumped away. And now you can also, I can show you following. I mean, we can also calculate it actually. Here's the semi-final, yeah. And these are the points. And when you see on Stadium, I got second. And this is very similar to EWC. Between first and second, huge gap of 150 points. Then we have 100 point gaps here between second and third, third and fourth. Fourth and fifth is then another 50 points. To sixth is another 50 points. To seventh is another 50 points. And eighth is then another 25 points. And then you have again 25, and then it goes down to 20, 20, 15, 15, and here only minimum differences. And you know, in the first races, no, I was always ending up here. So whoever was able to get like a top place was gaining, basically, he was making in one single round like the quadruple or something of points than me. But the same happened now in Stadium. I got a second place, and others, like for example Speedso or someone like that, yeah, scores here in the midfield, and I'm gaining multiple hundreds of points on him just because I got 1 second place. And in this round on Coast, it was between 8th and 5th, and look at the difference. 5th place, 350. 8th place, 225. So 125 points difference. And that alone would have been enough to overtake him. But more than that is also the fact that he would also lose 50 points. Also it wouldn't even be close. Like if I was this 1/10 faster on Coast, not only would I score 125 points more, he would also score much, much worse. Also 50 points worse. It would actually be a big difference then between us. Yeah, this it was obvious. And also all these rounds in the beginning where Snack always finished one position in front of me every single time. Of course, it was around these positions here. So we speak about, yeah, he gained 10 points on me, or he gained 15 points on me. Also we speak about that. But obviously, if it is the other way around and I'm ahead of him, you have to double this. No? It's like I would gain 15 points, he loses 15 points. Also every of these battles that we had on the first maps is directly like a 30 points difference that you can shave off of these 100 something. So yeah, it was mega close. Extremely close. And definitely also in the seeding itself, Coast, for example, I was actually 11th and also right behind Snack. It's literally everywhere. It's literally everywhere that we are next to each other. I mean, look at this. If I'm a little bit faster than Snack here on Coast, just as an example, it was 11th and 10th place. Wait, where was the rules? It was 11th and 10th place. Here we have the qualification. And also this, okay, it's only 8 points. I mean, generally the semi-final is more important than the qualification. But it all sums up, like we were always next to each other. There were also rounds where I was a position ahead of him. But yeah, close. Naja, we will see. Also, I will see if every one of the top 12 will actually play the final. If they don't, then I can, of course, start training. But if they don't, then, well, then it is just like that. I have a lot of other stuff to train now. So I would start training anyway, just 6 days before the final. But that's fine, because the first part of the final is only 3 maps. So